Hey, Ken here, website designer for coaches. And in this video, I will show you how to clean up uh, the nested groups within your page on the Kadence theme um, for newbies. So basically, if you're new to Kadence and you're using it and you're new, maybe relatively new to WordPress and using Gutenberg environment, you can quickly get your content and different blocks all nested into each other and it can get confusing. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a confusing mess and clean it up and talk about it as I do it, so you can see how I think, how I move, and how I look at pages and how to organize stuff, so that it can be clean and well organized. And as you make other content sections, pages, your layouts will be clean, look good, etc. Okay, so here I am at a website, and I've had some updates made by an assistant who is new with the Cadence theme. And basically, as I go to the bottom here, there's a little bit of spacing issue here, and I went to go fix the spacing issue, um, and then noticed a bunch of nested items and extra groupings and stuff that's not needed. And it makes it actually harder to manage. So let me show you, and I'll clean it up, and you can follow along and learn. Okay, so I will go edit the page. I think my Wi-Fi speeds might be a little bit low. I do have a few things open. Let me close down some of these other things. I'm on Chrome browser, which can get slow when you're when you have a few things open. Bit of a resource hog, the Chrome browser. Okay, so anyway, here I am. Here's the page. I am editing it in Gutenberg blocks. Here are the various pieces floating around. It looks like it's asking something here, so this is probably an extra block I don't need. So if you see like stuff you don't need, you should remove it. A little bit of floating paragraph tag was there. Probably didn't mess up my layout, but I like a clean page here. So here's where the issue is. I want to add more space here. And once I clicked on this block here, I noticed that there were two groups. So two groups is not necessary. Maybe one group is okay, but I actually don't like using groups at all. It just adds a level of confusion that I don't need. So the way to remove the group, simply click on the group. Okay, so before I do that, let me click on the group and show you what it's referring to. So if you look at the blue outline here, this grouping is containing all of this stuff here. So it's just this text at the top, which is, if I click on it and you look at the bottom left, is a heading. I click on this, it should be just a form. So here's a bit of a mess. I have a couple of a nested section, more sections, rows, etc., and groupings. This is a little bit of a mess there. But we'll get rid of a lot of these things. Well, let's start with the outside level. I'll go here. You can start anywhere you like. I generally like to. Do I start outside? I guess I do. It just seems like the quick, easy cleanup things you can do right away. So if I click on the word join here into the heading, and I see the word group, I'll just click on the word group, click on the three dots that come up here, and remove group. Oh, ungroup, I mean. Ungroup. If I remove group, it would just delete the whole thing, and I don't want to do that. So there's one group gone. If I click on that, now all that stuff is not grouped. I'm going to click on this group. This is a subgroup. Again, it's just the same thing containing the same item. So I will there ungroup that. So the groups are gone. Here's the heading. And let me click back into this form. And here we have a bunch of things going on. So let me click closer into the form. Yeah, so the form is the most nested item. So form is within a section, within a section, it was within a row, a section, row, section, and a row. I probably can get rid of almost all of this. So let's start with this section. And the thing is, you can't just remove a section. If I remove the section, remove the whole thing. So what I want to do is, I don't want to lose my form. What I'm going to do is pull the form out and drag it up underneath the heading of the community so that it's outside all of this nested stuff, and then I'm just going to delete out all that nested stuff. So let's take this form. I'm going to click into the form. I click on one of the fields, and you can see on the bottom left, there's the form. And if I click on the drag, I can drag this object. This block, this form. I'll click there, and I will drag it up to just under the heading here. Okay, so I'm holding it right above the heading and then just going slowly lower. That should be just below the heading. Let's make sure. So here's the heading. If I click on here, here's the heading. And I click on the form. There should be really nothing. Yeah, so it's not nested under anything. If I go further down, here's all that mess. Now if I click here into the box, let's just throw a paragraph into there. You can see that paragraph at the bottom. You can see it's nested within all this other stuff. I'll just click on this row layout and just delete it. Remove row layout. So that's all gone. But now I'm left with a form that's too wide. I don't have a proper row containing this section of content. The way I like to design with Kadence is every section on the page is a row layout. Here's a row layout. If I look at this one above, there's a row layout, and within the row layout, there's a first section with heading. And if I click, so within that row layout, the first section is a row layout with one section, and it contains all of this content. If I click, let's say I click on this image, you can see that within that section is another row layout with two columns. If I click on that second row layout, you'll see that it's this bit in here, the blue outline here, two columns. So it's basically a two-column layout within a one-column layout. That's the way I like to organize a section that has a heading and an image and text left and right. So let me create that down here. So I will click in this first block called heading, and I will actually, first thing I need to do is create that outer layer of that outer row to contain the entire section. When I use the word section, I just mean conceptually a chunk of stuff on your site. When I say the word row layout, that's actually a Gutenberg block. It's a technical thing. I know if I throw a lot of words around and you're not familiar with them, you might get lost. But follow along and learn and do, and that's how you learn. Okay. So after this first section, in fact, since I already have this row layout made, this first row layout, this here that has the pieces components I want. Actually, this has a component I don't want. But let me just, what I'll do is, what I definitely like doing is duplicating an existing layout or an existing row and working off that, because a lot of the settings are there, the padding, the structure size. So what I'm going to do here is just duplicate this. If you're wondering, Ken, I'm starting from scratch. Basically, when I do a row layout, I put some padding in there, and I set up the structure, the maximum width of the content, the height it's going to be. So that's probably a different video. Right now, I think the lesson to learn is just duplicate an existing section of content if you want to use that layout elsewhere. But you know what? Let me just start from scratch here. It might be easier. So what I would do here is I will click on this section, and I'm going to insert a row layout afterwards. Insert after. And there I'm going to put a row layout. I'm going to make it, since the content is just going to be a heading and form, it's just going to be one column. So I'll pick that. I like putting 70-20, 70-20 spacing. I like the structure settings to be VH of 70. That's vertical, VH is vertical height, and 70%, it's a percentage thing on a desktop. So that basically means that when you look at this, it's going to cover 70% of the screen, which is a good amount. Unless the content's very long, it'll go beyond the screen. But if the content's very little, it'll still fill to 70%. And I'd like the max width to be 1,000. As long as the rest of the content on the page is similar, then that's good. 1,000 I like. And then on a, if I click on the tablet, it'll give me tablet settings. So yeah, if I go up here, I click on tablet up there, it'll show me what tablet settings are. And for the tablet padding and margin, I like putting at 50. And then the mobile will be 50 as well by default. It goes from top to bottom. So basically, whatever I put for the desktop, it'll carry over to the tablet and then carry over to the mobile device. So let me just leave it at that. And so basically, the mobile will have nothing in here, but it'll pick it up. It'll inherit it from the other settings. Okay. So that's good enough there. And then I don't like to work from there. I'll just go back to here. Make sure I'm in desktop view so I can do my editing. Okay, so where was I? So what I did is I created a row, 70% height down here. Let's get to it. Okay, it's here. And if I click on it, there it is. And so, okay, I want to move the heading up. There it is, heading 2. I'm going to click on this thing here. 6 dots. It's a grab bar. I'll drop it in. Drop it on top of that plus. I missed. Grab it and drag it on top of the plus and let go. Okay, so now you can see down at the bottom, it's a heading block and it's within a row. The sections is automatically created. Every row has sections in it, so it's automatically put in there. I don't have to think about that. And let me get this form over. So I click on the form and I'll get the grab bar and I'll pull it up to the heading and just below it. It starts to show you the lines and just drop it there. My computer's running a little bit slow, probably because I'm recording video at the same time, and I might have a few other things open. And there you have it. Looks like there's a leftover thing here, so let me just put something in there and just delete that paragraph. That's gone. Okay, let me update and look at how. And look at this. Update your page. Sorry, my laptop's running a little bit slow. I am definitely have quite a few things open. I'm recording video, and it's a little bit resource intensive. And so, yeah, here I am scrolling down. So here's the form. Join the community, the call to action. And there it is. There's the form. Everything's there. And so the coding's clean. I got my spacing in there. If I pull it to mobile, basically, if you drag the screen smaller, you can see what a tablet looks like. It comes to here, and you can see the go to the top. The menu starts to look like the hamburger. And there it is. If I go all the way, that's what a phone would look like. And join the communities at the bottom. Join the community, improve health. Great. There you go. Okay, so in this video, we basically cleaned up some of the nested extra group row kind of items, and you've got an idea of how I go about it. And I hope that was helpful.